Well, more than a dozen Coalition MPs are calling for urgent action to stop China imposing punitive costs on Australian coal exporters through the Port of Newcastle. 15 members and senators have demanded Treasurer Josh Frydenberg introduce new regulations to prevent the port, which is half owned by a Chinese company, exploiting its monopoly powers by lifting access charges for exporters. Tasmanian Senator Eric Abetz is leading the charge. He joins me now from Canberra. Senator Abetz, thank you for your time. In simple terms, what's happening at the Port of Newcastle?
The Port of Newcastle is a monopoly supplier of providing a facility to get the Hunter coal off to export markets. Therefore, they have the whip hand, and they have exercised that in recent times by increasing charges. It is the view of many within the coalition that the ACCC should become, if you like, an arbitrator in the event, or an arbiter in the event that things get out of hand commercially in any negotiation between the coal producers and the Port Authority. Monopoly supplier of 40% of Australia's coal exports, huge value to the nation, huge for jobs in the Hunter, huge for the federal budget in royalties, etc., vitally important for our national economic well-being. There needs to be a regime to ensure fairness to the coal producers. That said, the half-owned port, the ownership of the port by a Chinese company, which is quite brazen about its involvement with the Belt and Road Initiative. It is quite brazen, and let me quote from their website, that they believe that Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era is that to which they subscribe. In other words, if the dictatorship in China says jump, this company's only question will be how high.
Well, I think you're spot on. I mean, I know you make that point in your letter to the Treasurer. We're talking about the Chinese-owned 50% stake. It's called China Merchants Port Holdings. They heavily reference the Belt and Road. You've written that, though, to Josh Frydenberg. We know that in the recent estimates hearings, the head of the ACCC, Rod Sims, says this port is operating like a monopoly. What do you want Josh Frydenberg to do here?
If Josh Frydenberg were to declare the port a monopoly supplier, that would then potentially allow the ACCC to become an arbitrator in any dispute. And it's my view that we should set up this mechanism in anticipation, hoping that it's never needed, but it's better to set this up now rather than turn a blind eye and then come a dispute, not have a dispute resolution capacity available for all those workers that rely on our coal exports.
This is the world's largest coal export port. Are you as surprised as I was that it had such a heavy foreign ownership?
Quite surprised to learn of not only the foreign ownership, but the foreign ownership's extremely close links with a communist dictatorship in China, when they boast about the fact that they're in lockstep with Xi Jinping's view on socialism, that they're part and parcel of the Belt and Road Initiative. You know that it has characteristics which should be putting us all on alert, and as a result, we need to get some mechanisms in place now to ensure that we protect the Hunter jobs and also the earning capacity of our coal mines.
OK, well, we're talking about Newcastle Port. We've got the same issue with the Darwin Port, although it's a higher ratio of Chinese foreign ownership. Are there any more out there, Eric Abetz? Do you need some sort of audit? This is sort of feeling like it's gone on unchecked.
It's gone on unchecked for too long. And look, in the halcyon days when we thought that China was going to be reforming itself, a lot of us were asleep at the wheel, with Xi Jinping becoming president, and as a result, him now appointing himself for life, and all the retrograde steps he's making. We've got a change scenario. The change scenario requires us to change our approach, and I think we need to be proactive, on the alert, to ensure that the national interest is the number one consideration.
Well, let us know what happens with your letter to your colleague. I'm sure you'll follow it up in person, perhaps even in the party room, Eric Abetz, tomorrow. Eric Abetz, thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.